Hey y'all, it's week 20 of season 2 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is Barney and the Choir. Barney, what's up this week?
Andy and I are in the courthouse, and I'm standing over by the bulletin board, putting up new wanted toasters. And I'm singing a tune to myself that I made up called Juanita. And then Aunt Dee comes by and brings us some lunch. And then John, our choir director, comes in with some bad news. He says that one of the members, Frank Pritchard, has just dropped out of the choir, and he's the first tenor. And the choir has a concert and a competition coming up. And I say, yeah, as my old voice teacher used to say, a choir without its tenor is like a star without its glimmer. Yeah, that's what my old voice teacher used to say. So John hears me say that and says, Barney, I didn't know you were a trained singer. Why don't you join the choir and take Frank's place? And I say, gosh, golly, I never gave that much thought. Did you, Andy? Yeah, you can count on old Barney, John. I'll step in and help you all out. When is the next practice? Little Thelma Lou hears about this. She'll be thrilled.
So Thelma Lou hears about it from Andy that night, and she says she loves you dearly, and but you can't sing a lick. And Andy says, yeah, I know he can't. And he says, now the whole choir is going to find out tonight at choir practice.
So that night at practice, we sing a song called 14A. Welcome, sweet springtime, we greet thee in song. And after we sing for a while, John says stop. Somebody's singing off key. So I offer to move around and try to find out who it is. But I can never find that person.
Because you are that person. So that night, the audience sees John tell Thelma Lou and Andy and Aunt Bee that you're a terrible singer. You can't stay in the choir. Someone's got to tell you. But no one has the heart to tell you, so as a temporary solution, they decide to move the next choir practice and not tell you so that they can sing without you for a while.
Then I find out where they moved to. Then I come in and I say, hi, John. Hi, everybody. Gee, you changed the meeting place. Lucky thing, I turned down Elm Street, and I heard the singing. You know, next time you change the meeting place, you ought to let a fellow know.
So you sing badly that night, too, and then John again tells Andy that you got to go. And Andy tells Thelma Lou he has an idea. Thelma Lou, bring Barney over to the house tonight.
So that night I say, you know, the way we've been singing 14A leaves a lot to be desired. So while some of us are together, why don't we get in a little extra practice? So while we're singing, Andy looks in my mouth and says my throat is all red and swollen with a lump in it. And he says I'll have to forget about the concert. And I say, forget about it, and leave you all without a first tenor? Andy, I think I can make it. But Andy tells me to go home anyway. I'm sick. So I come back later that night and I say, Andy, I got great news. My throat ain't sore after all. My throat ain't any different than anyone else's. That's what the doctor said. You know that lump you seen? That's a uvula. Everyone's got one. You've got a uvula. I've got a uvula. They've got a uvula. All God's children got a uvula.
So that night at choir practice, Andy says he's been thinking on it, and he wants you to give recitations instead of singing. He thinks your voice is so impressive and so commanding and so forthcoming that you should speak your part and not sing it.
And I say, well, if you're all agreed to that, I guess the least I can do is give her a try.
So you do try it for a while, and you speak the first couple lines, but then you break out into song again.
Yeah, I tell Andy, oh, it's no use, Andy. Can you tell a bird to talk? Can you tell a bird to just go chirp, chirp? No, Andy, I'm like a bird. I was born to sing.
So Andy's next idea to keep you from being heard is to have you sing into a microphone real softly, because they're going to tell you that it's real sensitive, but actually it's a dead microphone, and someone backstage, a good singer, is going to be providing the actual singing that the audience hears.
Yeah, and that goes real well. And the next day I tell Amy, I just can't get over the strange feeling I had last night. That voice that I heard coming through the loudspeakers, it didn't sound like me. But Andy tells me that's real common with good singers. And then he also tells me that now that I got a prize for my singing, I am now disqualified from singing in any other competition in Mayberry again. Well, I figure anyway, if the sheriffing business ever falls through, I can still sing at weddings and such. So I keep practicing at work with my Juanita song.
We'll see y'all next week for episode 21. Thank you for watching.